The first semester at Crestwood University felt like a relentless exercise in translation. It wasn't just the language, but the entire grammar of social and academic life that Ode found himself struggling to decode. He was a scholar of words, yet he was functionally illiterate in the unspoken dialect of American university life. He learned that eye contact, which in Yoruba culture could be a sign of disrespect toward an elder, was expected here as a sign of honesty and engagement. He learned that a professor's friendly invitation to "call me Bob" was not a test of his humility but a genuine offer of informality, an offer that still felt like a transgression every time he tried to accept it. These small, daily moments of cultural dissonance accumulated, creating a persistent, low-grade anxiety that hummed beneath the surface of everything he did. His academic struggles were the most galling. In Nigeria, his success had been built on diligence and a deep understanding of the material, which he would demonstrate through long, detailed essays. Here, the emphasis was on concise, straight-to-the-point answers and active, vocal participation in class discussions. He would spend hours preparing, his mind teeming with insights, only to find himself unable to jump into the fast-paced, interruptive flow of seminar debates. He felt he was being judged not on the quality of his thoughts, but on the volume and speed of his speech. His professors, while generally supportive, seemed to operate at a distance, their office hours booked weeks in advance, making the one-on-one guidance he craved feel inaccessible. He resorted to communicating via email, a medium that felt safer but also reinforced his sense of isolation. Socially, he was adrift. He tried to join study groups, but often felt ignored, his quieter, more deliberate way of speaking overlooked in favor of his more assertive American peers. He was an observer, watching from the periphery as others formed easy friendships in the dining hall and on the quad. The loneliness was a constant, gnawing presence, a symptom of a culture shock so profound it felt like a chronic illness. He found himself preoccupied with his health, interpreting minor aches and pains as signs of some serious malady. He slept too much, or not at all, his mood swinging between a deep, melancholic longing for his family and a sharp, irritable anger at his own inability to adapt. He felt lost, overlooked, and his confidence, once his strongest asset, began to erode completely. The financial pressure was a constant, suffocating weight. The Nigerian naira's fluctuating exchange rate meant that the money his family had painstakingly saved was worth less each month, and his budget was stretched to its breaking point. University housing was expensive, and the search for an affordable off-campus apartment was a nightmare of confusing leases and suspicious landlords. He knew that his student visa was contingent on maintaining his enrollment and paying his fees. The threat of deportation for non-payment was a terrifying possibility that haunted his sleepless nights. The need for a job became urgent, not just for spending money, but for survival. He spent his afternoons walking from one shop to another, his resume in hand, only to be met with polite rejections or the simple, dismissive phrase, "We are not hiring." In this state of quiet desperation, Ode began to see the world through a different lens. He noticed the other Nigerian students on campus, the ones who seemed to be thriving. They dressed in expensive clothes, drove nice cars, and moved with a confidence that he had lost. He felt a pang of envy, followed by a wave of shame. What was their secret? How had they cracked the code of this place while he was failing so spectacularly? He started to withdraw even further, avoiding the few African Student Association meetings he had attended, convinced that his struggles were a personal failing that would bring shame upon his family and his country. He was trapped in an inadequacy spiral, where his academic anxieties fed his social isolation, which in turn amplified his financial desperation. The dream of America was curdling into a nightmare, and he saw no way out.